There's a sweet story out of a Hollywood movie in which a lightning strike is the most important thing. That's going to be true in your life for the next 7 years coming, and perhaps the next 84 in a cycle. And that movie was Sweet Home, Alabama. And in it, the lightning struck the sand on the beach, and there's a whole beautiful backstory to that. But it literally changed the earth into a new form. And that's what's coming for you. And I have some ideas about how you want to use your own lightning rod and how you want to be grounded. Welcome to your astrological weather forecast for the week of May 14th to 20th, 2018. And May 15th is that long anticipated date that I've been giving you a heads up about, in which Uranus, the planet that we associate with the 7-year itch, finishes his move into Taurus, the constellation of Taurus. And this will be an enormous shift in the way in which things will change in your life and the way in which lightning will strike you, and believe me, it will. So what we have now is what could appear to be an inconsistency, because the god of lightning, Uranus, is known for rebellious, break free for freedom. Any limitation simply zapped away, right? And now he's in that earthy sign of Taurus that loves consistency and luxury and loves to have everything with great determination and sort of a fixity of purpose. Meanwhile, Uranus is not interested in attachment to material things. Taurus is usually lining up the 5-star luxuries, right? And so we have a seeming incompatibility with how we're going to live in the energy that's going to be with us for the next 7 years. But I have an idea, because of course I've given this a lot of thought, and that is, if you combine the Taurus fixity of purpose and incredible determination with the Uranus insistence on breakthrough, on not just innovation, but on thinking not just out of a box, but without a box, so that change is going to be sudden, unexpected, out of the blue, and marvelously innovative. Now, that would suggest to me that in the years ahead, we are going to make changes that count, because they're going to be changes that stick. Uranus takes 84 years approximately to make one cycle, one orbit. So it was 1935, the last time Uranus was in this Taurus constellation. And in 1935, we had, the march of a dictator across Europe and the rumblings of World War II. So now, but I want to tell you that Uranus at that time did not have the kind of support he has this time. This time, remember, I've been talking about all those planets that have been climbing the Capricorn mountain of success, step by step, by determined step. Well, all that energy is going to come in to make a beautiful harmony with this Uranus and Taurus, because it's Earth, Capricorn Earth, and Taurus Earth. So they are in sync and working together. What I think also will come, because we got to look at money, right? Because Taurus, likes money to buy nice things. Also, Taurus, as well as Capricorn, have the energy of money or wealth potentially being the road to feeling secure in this world. But now, remember, Uranus is not going to leave us or bring us any old ideas that we have had, not just about paper money, but rather what we value. When it comes down to it, ask yourself this question. In your own belief system, if you stop and you question what you've been sold or what you've been told about finances, about money, etc., etc., really question it and come up with what it is that you truly value. It's a guarantee that you're going to be struck by lightning. We all are. We're going to see it in our culture. We're already seeing it because, of course, Uranus didn't just like open the door in the heavens from Aries to Taurus. It's been Uranus has been slowly moving in that direction, and now, as of May 15th, is fully committed there. And what is so phenomenal about May 15th is also that it is the day of the Taurus new moon. What a lineup, right? I mean, let's face it, the god of lightning knows how to make an entrance. So entering on the new moon in Taurus says this is a new day, right? Because the new moon is always a new beginning. And in Taurus, it's a new beginning in what the abundance that we want in our lives. And it is a new beginning in what you value, a new beginning in how you yourself keep the soil you're standing on fertile so that things grow. Because Taurus is the proverbial green thumb. And what you value is what you want, you value, right? And so that is what will grow. It will be your choice, right? And so with all this energy, you can try to grow the same old thing, the same old crops, but it's not going to work this time because Uranus will insist that it be something brand new. I think that's really exciting. So now let's look at day by day in this exciting week ahead of us. We started May 14th with the moon in Taurus already. So the moon is the trigger for the big planets, for the major events in the big planets. And so in this case, this Taurus moon is coming in to trigger the entrance of Uranus, and it is going to do that beginning on Monday because the new moon is going to be late in Taurus when we get there on Tuesday. Tuesday the 15th, that's not all that's happening. The other thing happening is that the warrior Mars is changing signs and is leaving Capricorn, where he's really been having us hard at work in our ambitions and our career. And now Mars on the 15th is moving into humanitarian Aquarius. So what is he doing there? He's asking us to say, okay, you've been working hard, you've achieved quite a few things, but how do they really contribute to humanity? How does your gift, your particular beautiful destiny that is unique to you, no one else can fulfill it except you? How does that serve? How does that serve others? So Mars is going to have us asking that question. That also begins on the 15th. So we have so much shifting. And as we go into Wednesday, which is ordinarily it's ruled by Mercury, so it's the day of the best communications. And this week, that's going to be doubly so, because the moon will by then be in Gemini. And Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and it is, of course, the sign of communications and ideas, short trips, etc. Now, let me add a piece for your own prediction of what's ahead for your future, because Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Hello. And so Aquarius is an air sign. Uranus is, the god of lightning. So that's electricity. And that is the digital world. That is the World Wide Web. So we also have an initiation into something that is in our technologies going to save us. I'm absolutely convinced of it, that the future is without question going to be so much better than the past. And we are going to move into such abundance, but in a different way, right? Not abundance that I would gather for myself and take home and shut the door and enjoy without you, right? It can't be that anymore, because we are now in the worldwide web of mutuality. What happens to one of us happens to all of us. What I do in my life affects what you do in your life, and vice versa. So Mars in Aquarius is going to help kick off this incredible shift by reminding us that that is true. And then we're not done with big changes for this very week. You definitely want to get grounded, right? Get that grounding rod. Definitely do your meditations in the morning, in which you stop, you let go of the past, you quit predicting what's coming, and you just be in the here and now. It's beautiful. So by Friday, we have the moon in Home Sweet Home Cancer. Oh, so there we have Home Sweet Home Alabama. Nice connection. And that day, we're going to have our minds, and I think some of the news that we see on the big screen of life, on the world stage, is going to get very clear. We've had in the past, especially with Saturn and Sagittarius, we had a lot of truth-telling, but blurted out and not in a particularly coherent way, but nevertheless good, it's the truth. And now in Capricorn has brought in all this integrity and said, wait a minute, is what you think is true really true? Or are you running on an old idea that needs to be challenged and changed? So on Friday in particular, you get the most beautiful blessing that day to not only have clarity of purpose, but to make that purpose, download it from your very soul. You're going to get a lot of help with that day, so don't waste it on daydreaming. Make use of it, right? And then Saturday, Venus, the goddess of love, is also going to change signs, and she's going to move into Cancer. So now we have the moon and Venus in Cancer, and I will tell you, I know in my heart exactly what that energy is. And it is the joy of being in love. It is the joy of loving everyone. And it is the intuition, the soul of us in perfect harmony, in concert with our heart. I know, just doesn't get better than that. And then on Sunday, the 20th of May, let me say happy birthday to all of you Geminis out there, because the sun will go into Gemini on May 20th. And the thing about Gemini is you get a plethora of new ideas, right? Gemini is literally the multitasker. But unless you have Mercury in Gemini in your chart, or you have a lot of Gemini in your chart, multitasking is going to seem like something you should do, but you're not going to be able to pull it off, right? So that's why sometimes the Gemini days and the Gemini sun brings us so many ideas that we get a little confused. But look at the synchronicity and the absolute beautiful harmony of the universe we live in. Gemini rolls in just in time for the celebration of ideas, that is, the graduations in our schools, in our colleges and universities. It's totally a Gemini experience, right? Because it is saying we have all these ideas, all this information that we have gathered, that we have sometimes stuffed into our brains, right? And now we want to take that to use it for our higher minds. So that is the journey that is set in motion all in this one week. So if ever you're paying attention to the stars, please do this week. And on that new moon Tuesday, that's when you plant your intention for the coming month. We always do that on the new moon. The new moon is like the period of ovulation. The new egg, the new seed comes around to be planted. That's true always. But the fact that it is coming this time in tandem, hand in hand, with Uranus's move into Taurus, says that whatever intention you're planting now is going to echo through the next 7 years of your life, right? And likewise, what we decide as a culture, as a civilization, that we value, what we decide we're going to value in the future, is so critically important and will get so much support for change if we all collectively sit down with this new moon on Tuesday morning. It will be very early on the Pacific coast, so I'm going to write my intentions out the night before. But for you on the East Coast, it's going to come in right at breakfast time. So literally, we start our day with it. And I think there is the potential for us to really manifest our thoughts instantly. Because the God of lightning doesn't hesitate, right? He's bolts out of the blue, always unexpected, never what you think the change will be. And so we are in for 7 years of epiphanies, right? 7 years of, oh, I didn't know that. Or just the inner discovery of what has been changing in you for 7 years, right? The dictator in you, I hope, has been totally beheaded. You no longer listen to that voice that would tell you what to do, the ego's voice, in other words. That noisy voice that always answers first because it's always trying to be first and special. But now I know that we are entering an age in which the quiet voice of spirit, the quiet inner voice that speaks to us constantly from our soul, from spirit, is going to be what we choose to listen to. Because remember, we now have the Taurus grounded determination to be with that voice, to be patient with that voice, and not to go the Aries way, is fire, ready, aim, right? Now is going to be ready, aim, fire with our ideas and with our innovations. So what are you going to do? What have you noticed in your life is already shifting? I've noticed that many of us are being sort of relocated. I was physically relocated. I just moved my home this past week. And I know because I was told, I feel it, that I was being put in a position where my home is now, it's solid, but it's just sort of a ground. It's like a launching pad that I can take off into the world from, and really not have to give it much thought at all. The maintenance and care of it is really not my concern anymore, and I love being free of that. So what have you noticed that Spirit has been relocating or shifting in your life to prepare you for this very week so that you are free to take great advantage of disciplining your thoughts and manifesting your reality? I'd love to hear that from you, so leave me a comment. And this is such an important week. If this has been helpful, please share it, please like me, and pass this on, because that's why I do it. And I wish you all a fabulous new beginning with your feet firmly on the earth and your head in the heavens. Bye for now.